Today, artist and brewery collaborate to commemorate.
I think art is fed, like if you really an artist is fed, you just can't run away from it.
And break barriers through public art.
I had no idea in my life that that's something that you do.
And an artist finds her voice.
The journey I'm on right now is I have to do what I love and see what's gonna happen with it.
This and more on Living a Creative Life. I'm Adora Wonfor. Welcome to Living a Creative Life, a celebration of Calgarians who inspire us through their passion, self-expression, and truly living their best lives. This is February. It's a Black History Month or Black Futures Month inspired episode. All it really is a celebration of those of us who are blackity black, black, black all year round. This episode is focused on those creatives and people who support them. I get to spend a wonderful afternoon inside of Inner City Brewing. It's a company that supported Black Lives Matter, YYC, in 2021 with a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Your team came together so hard.
Yes. It was amazing. People came in to get the cans and they saw the artwork on the cans. They were so excited. It became more of a collector's item at some point.
I wanted to be part of the program because I saw it through social media again. And I was like, man, I have to be involved in this because it was just so good. So I reached out through social media and they were very happy about that. And then we took it further.
You're a graphic artist and a painter. And so where did that begin?
I think art is fed, like if you really an artist is fed, you just can't run away from it. Because I went to university in Zimbabwe, I studied something else. I studied social sciences, I studied media. I worked with, United Nations, some international organizations, human rights, but it keeps calling. So at some point you have to honor it.
I want to talk about this beautiful piece right here. I got royalty in my blood. But this little doodling sort of, what was the inspiration to make this type of creation?
It didn't come from a happy place to begin with. I was having a little bit of anxiety because it started exactly when COVID started.
Right.
So every time I'm sitting, I'm working, I'm thinking, I was just making doodles with a pen over and over, like papers upon papers. And then it went into color. And then I said, oh, what would happen if I experiment with actual forms, like people, or is it an animal, and this and that? And that's happened to be one of my favorite songs that's from Kendrick Lamar. I like that song, it's a beautiful song, but it's also very affirmative. When I came in Calgary, I wanted to really take my art seriously because I saw opportunities here in Canada. But instead of studying painting that I was already doing, I wanted something that I could not teach myself. So I started design, like formally at the Alberta University of the Arts. But I'm mostly a painter at heart.
Look, I found another woman. Let's talk about this one. What was the inspiration for that?
So we started off with the doodles that were very anxiety-driven. They became color, they became something else. But over time, the anxiety started to go down. It's jazz, it's musical, it's supposed to be very calming. So I was also doing it for myself, just the calming. BLM, right? It's something that, I believe in, like what they're standing for. I'm very supportive. I did it specifically in honor of all those people that were on the streets, trying to express themselves, what was going wrong and all this and that. So when I saw that there was a project that was happening with BLM in Inner City, I wanted to be involved, but the project was already done. So that's okay, but I'm happy that they came back to me and say, now is the time. So another dream has already happened, showing art publicly on a can of beer. I love beer, what's wrong with that?
This was our experience, and thank you for capturing it and donating it.
This is what we need. We need more spaces like this so more artists can be shown. There's a talent out there, but without the spaces, the talent won't be seen. So thank you so much for having me here.
Explore a new chapter with the Calgary Public Library this month. The programs engage, reveal, celebrate, and highlight Blackness in Calgary and beyond.
My name is Nicole Dodd. I'm responsible for programs and services at the library that focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Black History Month is a major element of our February programs and events and services. We have a web page specifically devoted to Black History Month, and you can check out the events that we're having over the month of February, as well as the book list that we have and prominent Black Calgarians and Albertans that are featured on that page as well. There's kind of a myth about Black Calgarians and Black Canadians that they're all recent immigrants. And I think the importance of Black History Month is to highlight that actually Black Canadians and Black Calgarians have been around for at least 100 years, if not more. And I think that's important for people to know so that they can appreciate the true diversity of Albertan society.
How important are grassroots arts organizations for communities who may not have access to the same support as others do? If you're the co-founder of Pink Flamingo, it's a matter of life and death. Pink Flamingo is instrumental into getting murals for me, being born, raised, and still living here. This city has not really represented me in urban art. To see during 2020 the BLM mural go up, it has been so beautiful and encouraging. Can you tell us a little bit about that mural project specifically?
So a few local artists were, inspired by Black Lives Matter and the protests and displays that these artists were seeing, and they wanted to be able to respond. When we were approached with this project, we were like, obviously we have to do something with this. We went directly to council to access the public art funding. And this was pretty monumental. I had no idea in my life that that's something that you could do. That was June in 2020. We had to deal with a whole lot of white fragility that showed up in violence and, hate speech. The reason people were so upset was because we wanted to paint over an existing mural that has been up for about 28 years now. And the building owner was one of the few buildings downtown that wanted Black themed art on their buildings. After our artists were threatened, physically, we found a new location by Bowside Manor in Chinatown, and they offered us the wall. It's by Jay Sterling. It's called The Guide and Protector. One of my favorite pieces, one of my favorite artists. So we waited until the following summer, so summer of 2021, to complete the other murals. So we have our Black Youth mural, which is at Bob Bahan Aquatic and Fitness Center in Forest Lawn. It's a Black neighborhood. So then we did a QT BIPOC mural. That's in the old Scouts building off Memorial, which is going to be the new center, new building for NAAC, which is the National Access Arts Center. And so we ended up splitting that because there's two large panels that we painted. So we picked Olivia Johnson, and then another artist, Harley Burden, incredibly talented mixed Indigenous artist. We do have our Black Elders mural. The last mural that we completed is our Urban Indigenous mural. So it translates to be careful, walk with trepidation. Pretty much everybody who submitted work that weren't chosen, we hired as our mural crews. So every person that wanted to be part of the mural project was.
And
so
created a community, like whomever is attached to that community can grow. If you have open access to anything your heart desires, what's the dream project?
My future goal for Pink Flamingo is to eventually become a funding body for KT BIPOC.
Let's find out how artist Priscilla Bukasa overcomes that nasty old imposter syndrome to profess words full of potency. Thank you so much for joining us, Priscilla. I feel like the last time I saw you was 2019. How did COVID change up your artistry?
I told myself in 2020, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on poetry a lot. I'm gonna put a lot of effort into it and see where it takes me, because it was in the back burner. I was focusing on my marketing and my degree that I just got. And then when March hit and the COVID, everything shut down. I think I shut down myself too. I couldn't even write, couldn't even do anything. So it was like, what am I doing? But in that, I think I found like my true passion was continuing to write. I think I stuck to it. So, I mean, a lot of the times I even feel like the imposter syndrome coming on a lot of the times. So it's always a battle. Like I'm not there yet. It's still a journey for me myself. I think when you do what you love, it's gonna open doors for you. And that's where I'm coming. That's the journey I'm on right now, is I have to do what I love and see what's gonna happen with it.
What type of stuff do you discuss in your poetry?
So I discuss anything from my experiences to my faith to love and the Black experience. I think in 2016, I wrote a piece called 16 Shots. And it was about a Black American 17-year-old who got shot in Chicago 16 times. And that piece, I've had it for years sitting in the burner. And anytime I got like invited to places, it was like, no, don't do that piece. No, we want to hear something fluffy. And then when, everything happened in 2020, the marches are happening, the Black movement is happening, that's when it was like, oh, we want to hear that piece. And I'm like, I've always been doing these pieces. I've always been talking about the Black experience and everything. I did a piece in 2018 called Seat at the Table. And at first when I wrote it, it was a little bit fluffy, and I was like, no, I'm going back to the drawing board and really coming at you, with it. And so that's just what I write. I write what I feel. When they come to unearth the mystery of how we flew too close to the sun and survived, with gleaming lantern hearts cut from the same material that made the walls of Jericho crumble to its feet, don't be surprised at their gnashing teeth grappling at your coat. The standard of likes won't keep you afloat. These fingers around your throat isn't from affection. When they come to excavate the black gold kissed upon your skin, exhume old tales that don't include the ones of your grandmother. Softly remind them that this is not you asking for permission. This is not you stumbling on words that don't pronounce anything other than deity. This noose be no necklace, be no fashion statement, no more than a bulletproof vest is. Tonight we all be Luke Cage, uncaged and uncensored, harmoniously conscious. Ancestors banging on doors like, wake up son, we done ran for this. Our sweat be more like a Mississippi River trying to find its way out from a place so fastidious to paint the soil bred in the name of freedom acts that don't include all its citizens. We learn to run and they will call it a sport. Call it a touchdown when there's less of us. So we learn to fly until gravity's check stop be a breeding ground for target practice, the enemy of progress. Our wins come in inches, but the race is long. I'm really excited about this show coming up. It's with Arts Common. A bunch of artists are a part of the Incubator Project. And our show is February 26th. We have a show at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. I'm bringing new poetry, I'm bringing old poetry, I'm collaborating with a pianist. So I'm just so excited and I really want you guys to be there.
Happy Black Futures Month. If you have a project, story, or example of living creatively, please share to submissions@calgaryartsdevelopment.com or post with the hashtag YYCLCL. See you next time on Living a Creative Life.